Hi, my name is Ken Zhang from the Cloud Business Group. Today I have the pleasure to walk you through an additional lab helping you to unleash the power of your data by creating data visualizations from the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud. With very little effort and steps, we are going to show you a few examples of how to quickly and easily gain some insights with your data. You'll be able to take what you've learned today and apply it with the data that you load into the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud. In the previous labs, you've experienced just how easy, fast, and elastic the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud can be. We've already showed you how to connect to ADWC with a standard client tool such as SQL Developer. We can connect any client tool that connects to the Oracle database. We are now going to show you just how easy it is to connect your ADWC instance with a desktop analytics tool. And the one that we'll be demonstrating today is the Oracle Data Visualization Desktop. So for Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud users, this tool is free. So not only is it a very powerful desktop option to get you started, but it also enables you to seamlessly move some of your projects from the desktop version to the Oracle Autonomous Analytics Cloud service for even more capabilities. So for you folks analyzing data with slow desktop tools such as spreadsheets or any other desktop alternatives, we can provide you a very powerful alternative that can scale elastically as your analytical demands grow in complexity or by the number of users that you need to access the data. So we're going to walk you through a couple examples using this solution. So let's get started. In the first part of this lab, you will need to set up the client Windows desktop. So for time considerations, we won't walk through the entire download and installation of Oracle's Data Visualization Desktop. We'll assume that you can complete those steps. But after the successful installation, we are going to walk you through setting up the client so that the Oracle Data Visualization Desktop can create a secure connection with Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud. So this ensures that all the communication between the client application and ADWC is securely encrypted. So the first thing that we're going to do is use the client credentials file that you already downloaded in a previous lab. And that was the same credentials file that you used to configure the connection with SQL Developer. So let me go ahead and go to the desktop and begin the process. So in this file here, the client credentials file, I've opened up that zip file, and there's two particular files that we're most interested in this configuration. And the first one is the cwallet.sso, and I've copied that one over to my desktop. And the second one is the tnsnames.ora file. And we'll be pulling some information out of that tnsnames.ora file to get connected to from our client to our server. So the first thing that we need to do is actually copy this cwallet.sso file to a location that the Oracle Data Visualization Desktop expects it to be. So what we're going to do, again, this is a one-time step. So you only need to do this once. So we'll go ahead and copy that over. And we can see that we've copied one file now. And then we'll go to that location, that directory location, and take a look and see if it's there. And yes, of course, it is. The cwallet.sso file is there. So fantastic. So what we've done now is just copied that cwallet.sso file to a location that Data Visualization Desktop expects. So when you start it, it'll now create secure connections. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start Data Visualization Desktop. And in the meantime, I am going to do one additional step. So I'm going to open up SQL Developer. I'm going to create a simple view from the SH sample data that we'll use throughout the exercise. Okay, so what I've done is I've connected now to SQL Developer, just as you've done in the previous lab. And now I'm going to go ahead and run this script. And it's going to go ahead and create me a view from the SH, some of the tables in the SH data. Fantastic. So now the view has been created. Excellent. Now I'm going to go back to Oracle Data Visualization Desktop. And I am going to now, okay, so we're back in Data Visualization Desktop. We're going to go ahead and create a connection. So we'll click on Create Connection, and we'll go ahead and choose the type Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse. Now, as you can see here, it's asking us for pieces of information. In terms of the connection name, we're going to call this sales history. But it's asking for host, port, and service name. And where are we going to get this information? Well, that's where we're going to go into our tnsnames.aura file. And so here's our open tnsnames.aura file. So for each of the different services, it has all the information that we need. So if we're connecting to the Hi instance, we'll go ahead and see, you can see the host information and then the service associated with that Hi service. So what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and go back into the user interface and type in all the information that's necessary for this connection. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll take out of the tnsnames.aura file the host information, the port information, which is 1522, the username, which I'm using, again, ken_test, my password, and the service name, again, from the tnsnames.aura file. Okay, so once we do that, we'll click on Save. And as you can see, we have successfully created the connection. So the next thing after that, we're going to go ahead and create the data set and connect it to that view that we created earlier in SQL Developer. Here is our connection. We're selecting the connection for sales history. And we are going to go and look for ken_test is where we created that view. We'll go and scroll down for that DV_SH_ view. We'll go ahead and select to add all of the fields, and we'll go ahead and rename this to sales history. Now if we want, we can go ahead and click on the Get Preview Data, and it'll show us a little preview of the data. Make sure that's all the information that we need. Fantastic. And then we'll just go ahead and click on Add. And we'll wait for that to add the data set. Fantastic, and it was successfully saved. So the first thing that we're going to do is actually go back to that data set, and we're going to go ahead and inspect it. Because what we want to do is actually change two of the fields. And the two fields that we want to change is we want to change calendar year to an attribute rather than a measurement. And we also want to change customer year to an attribute rather than a measurement. And are you sure you want to update sales history? And I do. Absolutely want to do that. Fantastic. So we're done here. So we've now created our connection. We've created our data set. And the first thing we're going to do now is create our first project. So we'll click on Create Project. And we're going to select the data set from sales history, fantastic, and add it to our project. Fantastic. So you can see all the various different fields associated with our sales history data set. And so what we're going to do is we're going to select a few fields, multi-select. So we're going to hit our Control key, and we're going to go ahead and click on product name. We're going to go ahead and click on amount sold. We're going to click on calendar year, product category, and quantity sold. And we're just going to go ahead and drag those over to our palette. And Data Visualization Desktop will create the most appropriate visualization. Fantastic. So as you can see, Data Visualization Desktop created a visualization for us. And that's our first visualization. If we want, we can also go over to our Prepare tab and actually take a look at some of the data from this data set. So without any code, we can see, of course, it's pulled the information from that view, but what we can also do is actually go and click on the data tiles. And the data tiles is a way that you can actually use the tool to inspect all the various different fields that you have within this data set. So as you can see over in the lower right-hand corner, there's 18 data elements. And as this loads, we'll begin to be able to see all the various different types of data that we have within this view. So as you can see for each of the different fields like country region, customer marital status, product category, and so forth, you can get an overview using these data tiles. So without any querying of the data or using any SQL, you can just very easily begin to inspect what type of data that you have to begin to drill down into the specifics of your data. So that is our first project. So we'll move on to now our second project. Okay, so for our second project, we're going to go ahead and create a new project. So we'll just go ahead and up to the menu and say project. We'll create a new project. And again, we'll use sales history. Now, in this project, we're going to create 3 separate canvases. Okay, so in our first canvas, we are going to do a sales summary. The second canvas is going to be a product summary. And the third canvas is going to be a customer demographics summary. So in this particular case, we have the first canvas that we're going to be working on is sales summary. Okay, and so in the sales summary, we're asking ourselves questions like, what are my monthly sales by dollar and quantity sold? Or what are my sales in each of the different country regions, and what products sell the best in each country? So let's go ahead with the first. Let's answer, what are my monthly sales by dollar and quantity sold? And so what we're going to do here is actually first take time, and we're actually going to expand that field. And what we want to do is, again, we're going to select the do it by month. Select that. We're going to select quantity sold, and we're going to select amount sold. And we're going to go ahead and drag it over. Now what we're actually able to do after we drag it, we can change the different type. So in this particular case, it's doing it as a scatter, and we're going to go ahead and change this chart type, and we're going to go ahead and select it to be a combo. Fantastic. So once we have that, what we're going to do is actually change a couple of the things. So in the metric quantity sold, we actually want to make this the Y2 axis. And this way it will create, and we want to do it again and make that a bar. Okay, so now you can see that we have the amount of quantity sold by time by month. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is actually go and click on the advanced analytics option here, and what we want to do is we want to drag a trend line, and we'll simply go ahead and drag that trend line over. And now you can see that we've simply now added a trend line, so we can begin to see for each month by month whether it's meeting the trend. Okay, so for the next one, what we're going to do very quickly is go ahead and answer, what are my sales in each country region, and what products sell best in each country? So with that, we're going to go back over to the fields. And in this particular case, we're going to select the amount sold. We're going to select country region, amount sold, country region, and product category. And we are going to take those and actually drag them to the bottom here, because we actually want 2 sections in our chart. And as you can see, it's defaulted to a bar chart. So what we're going to do is we're going to change that particular chart to an area chart. Fantastic. And with that, we're going to change a couple of these fields around just to get a better view. So we're going to switch the category x-axis along with the colors. You can see we can just quickly switch those around. And that gives us a better view in terms of the information that we're looking for. So that is going to help us explain what are the sales in each of the different regions, Americas, Asia, Europe, Middle East, and Oceania, and the amount sold. Okay, so that is the completion of our first tab. So you can see that that was very, very simple. We'll rename this tab, and we'll call this our sales summary tab. Fantastic. Okay, before we move forward, I'm just going to go ahead and save our project here. And I'm just going to call that sales summary. Go ahead and save that. Fantastic. And then again, we're going to go ahead and create our second one, right? And our second tab that we're working on is our product summary. So down here in the lower left, I'm going to go ahead and add a tab, and this is going to be my product summary. And so the two questions we're asking here is what products are selling the best and what product categories are trending? Are there trends based upon price or by regions and so forth? So let's go ahead and start with the first one. What products are selling the best? So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and create, look at our data elements, and the data elements that we're going to use here are quantity sold. We're going to go with product category, and we're going to go ahead with product subcategory. And we're going to go ahead and drag those over. Now that makes a nice bar chart, but what we're going to look for is actually we're going to change it, and we're going to go ahead and use a sunburst. And within the sunburst here, we're going to go ahead and you can see now that it's very easy to view in this sunburst. In each of the different categories, we can look at each of the different subcategories for each of those different areas. So that's a nice, very nice chart here that we've created, just dragging and dropping some fields. So the second part that we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and answer the question. And our second part is what product categories are trending, and are there trends based upon price or by regions? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to select a number of different fields. Again, from the left-hand side, we're going to go with product list price. We're going to go product quantity sold. We're going to go look at time ID. We're going to go ahead, month of year. There we go. Fantastic. Amount sold. And country region. Okay, fantastic. And then we're going to go ahead and drag that over to the right-hand side so we can split it. You can see that blue bar was created. Excuse me. And now we're going to go ahead and make sure that each of the different areas are what we want. So the product list price is actually going to be the y-axis. That's correct. We want the amounts quantity sold to be the x-axis. Let's see, quantity sold is the x-axis. Oops, we're on the wrong one, that's why. Go ahead and select that. There we go. Quantity sold is the x-axis, so we're going to switch those two out. Category is going to be time ID, and the size is going to be the amount sold. And color is going to be product category. Where's my product category? I'm going to go and drag that over. Fantastic. So that gives us a little bit of idea in terms of what product categories are trending, right? So we can look at the peripherals and how they're trending, or we can look at the software other and how they're trending. And then we can also look at based upon whether or not it's price or it is by region. So that would give us that information. And so we'll change this canvas. And again, this is our product summary canvas. So let's go ahead and rename to product summary. Fantastic. So now we've created 2 of the 3 canvases for this project. The third canvas that we're going to be building is going to be a demographic summary. So it's going to answer certain questions like, of all my customers, which customer income level segment drives my sales? Or do male or females buy more from us? And what are the ages of our customers who purchase the most? What products and product subcategories sell the best to our male or female customers? So with that, we'll go ahead and create that third canvas. And we are going to simply select the amount sold, the customer income level, and drag those into our canvas. Fantastic. The next thing that we're going to do is change the type of chart, and what we want here is a tree map. and we want to change the customer income to the color to give us a little bit more distinction in the data that we're looking at. Well, fantastic. So that gives us, of all of our customers, which customer income level segment drives my sales. So you can view that there. So fantastic. So the next thing that we're going to do is actually go and look and drill down a little bit about, do male or females buy more from us? And what are the ages of our customers who purchase the most? So what we're going to do is collect the information over here in terms of the amount sold, the customer year of birth, and drag those onto the canvas. Okay, fantastic. So now what we're looking at is the amount sold by customer year of birth. And now what we want to do is actually go ahead and change and add the customer gender to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag customer gender now to the trellis row. And now we'll get that information, both the amount sold and the customer year of birth, by both male and female. And so you can begin to, if you want to resize any of these, you can start looking and drilling down a little bit more around those particular areas, the years, male or female, and the amount sold to that birth date. Fantastic. So that does answer some of the questions. Okay, the third visual that we're going to create is, in our demographic summary, is a scattered chart. And so we want to answer what products and product subcategories sell best to our male and female customers. So what we're going to do here is add a scattered chart to the canvas. So we'll go ahead and select the chart type, and we'll go ahead and select scatter. Perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back over here and select each of the different areas. Okay, so in this particular case, what I want is the amount sold to be the y-axis. I want the quantity sold to be my x-axis. I want product category to be the category points. Product subcategory to be the color. The amount sold to size. And customer gender to trellis rows. I think my product subcategory did not get added to the color, so let me go ahead and do that. Perfect. And so we've created that third visual. And that visual there shows and breaks it down by the trellis row between female and male in terms of each of the different amounts sold, the quantity sold, and with the product category and product subcategories. So that is our third canvas. So we'll go ahead and take that, we'll rename that to demographic summary. So that gives us information about our demographics of who our customers are. Fantastic. So we created three canvases. So it's the sales summary, the product summary, and the demographic summary. So with that, that is our three canvases that we created for the sales summary project. So two projects. The other thing that we have the ability to do that I'll show very, very quickly is being able to narrate. And so what we can actually do is take the canvases that we've built and actually take them and drag them over to our canvas. And then we can actually do a narration. So rather than taking all this information, republishing it in the PowerPoint or any other presentation type of tool, you can actually do it directly from here. So I drag those on to the canvas, and then I can go ahead and click on the present, and it actually enables us to present this in a presentation format. So you can see each of the different three canvases. Our sales summary, it's an interactive canvas. You can work with it, you can drill down. and then click on each of the different areas. Here's our product summary, and then here's our demographic summary. Perfect. Lastly, we can actually take this project now and actually save it. We can actually share it. We can give it to someone else. We have the ability to do that. So I'll click on Save. And again, we have the ability to then share it out. We can save it to a file. We can email this project. We can print it out. Or we can place it somewhere on a cloud drive. So with that, that is our lab on creating data visualizations with Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud. As you can see, again, Data Visualization Desktop is a very powerful client tool. It's free to use. It's very easy to get connected to the ADWC server and begin to create lots of beautiful data visualizations without writing any SQL. So as you can see, lots of different canvas areas here to begin to drag and drop, be able to explore your data, be able to create visualizations that help tell a story. So with that, I'll hand it off to our next speaker. Thank you so much.